All right. You want to introduce yourself? This Mabel Savage. It's my grandmother. I'm going to be talking to her about some of the Jim Crow laws and things like that. First question. This is after schools were integrated, also after the Jim Crow laws. How were you perceived by your white classmates? Did they welcome the change with open arms, or did they act in a manner of resistance?
I think it was more resistance. One of the things that happened, you would walk into the classroom, if there was an empty seat, say here, and someone sitting here, if I was to walk in and sit on this seat, the person would get up and move to the next seat so they wouldn't be sitting right beside me. So I don't think it was received well.
Okay. Okay. And did you do much traveling back in those days? Like, did you travel?
Yeah.
You traveled?
Run back and forth to Virginia and places like that.
Okay. And so when you were on the road, obviously you have to eventually stop for something like a bite to eat, or a restaurant or something like that. How did the Jim Crow laws affect you when it came to something as simple as stopping at a food spot for something to eat?
Well, for one thing, they wouldn't serve you at the front, or you couldn't go in. You had to go to the back, and they would serve you out of let's say a hole.
A hole?
Yeah, it's a little opening.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they did serve you the same foods, but it was just in the back.
Right, you had to go to the back to receive it, and you didn't go inside.
Couldn't go inside.
No.
Okay. Something we do today, such as shop for a pair of pants or a shirt, how did the Jim Crow laws change that experience and make it different than it would be today? How I or someone else could just go to a mall and easily just, do the same things we do today?
Well, today you can try things on. Back then, they didn't even want you to try the clothes on.
Why was this?
I guess they didn't feel like they wanted to put them on after you put them on.
Okay.
But by that I mean the whites. I don't think they would want to put them on after you've tried them on.
Okay. So if you was to go in and get a shirt or a piece of clothing, you have to buy it no matter what the size was. Either you getting it or you not.
Right, but you buy it just right out. You wouldn't try it on.
Okay. But whites were allowed to try it. They had waiting dressing rooms for whites.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And what timeline was a lot of these events that you recall? Was this the 50s?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Around the 50s?
Back during the 50s and 60s, too.
Oh, it even went this far?
Yeah, that happened in the 60s.
Okay. So even after a lot of these rules were stopped, there were still things going on. People...
Yeah. There are a lot of stuff still going on today, believe it or not.
Right, I believe you. Okay, did the Jim Crow laws ever affect any of your relationships with anyone, such as you having a friendship with a white person and it being difficult to sustain that friendship due to the fact that you were black and they were white?
No, because the truth of the matter, we lived in an all-black neighborhood, and it was in much later years that I had quite a few white friends, and we got along very well.
Okay, so you said in later years, so this was a little after a lot of these Jim Crow laws were still in effect? Like you saying this was after that you had good white friends?
Yes. Yes.
But during that era, when a lot of those rules were, when people had strong beliefs about those laws and things, you didn't really have many white friends?
No, no.
And could you, why do you think you didn't have many white friends? Is it because of the natural segregation between the black community and the white community?
No, not really. I think it's because of living in a completely black neighborhood. And it wasn't, any whites at like my age at the time around.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
let's see.